Dave Pinson here, Philippine Bible Ministry. Dave Pinson here, Philippine Bible Ministry. Um, you should never be the one that people are a disciple of. Don't be a disciple of Dave Pinson. Don't be a disciple of any church out there. Be a disciple of Jesus. When you become the necessary person for someone to grow in their spirituality or someone to follow God, then you're stepping right in the way of what God is supposed to be. You know, we become the person sometimes who wants to help everybody, and so people go through sorrows, they go through struggles, and you're constantly helping them, and then you wonder why they never grow. I'm not saying we shouldn't help people. Of course we should help people. God puts it on your heart, to help those, whatever you've done to the least of these, right? So there's a time and place for that. There's also a time and place. So when you pray for the Lord to get a hold of somebody and he starts to get a hold of them and they're starting to struggle, that you don't stop their struggle. you know I'm reminded of the butterfly story, which I'm sure you've all heard so many times. It's a good story. That's why it's been told so many times. The story is told of a child, let's say a little girl, a child, who sees a butterfly trying to come out of its cocoon. And she watches the butterfly struggling and struggling and doesn't seem to be able to get out of the cocoon. So she goes and gets a little razor knife. So maybe it's not a little girl, maybe it's just a girl, not too little, old enough to use a razor knife. And she cuts open, very carefully cuts open the cocoon without damaging the butterfly. And the butterfly falls out of the cocoon and struggles around for a minute and dies. Why did he die? Why did that butterfly die, Daddy? Because the butterfly needs to struggle to get out of the cocoon in order to develop its lungs so that it can breathe. God wants people to struggle to grow up. I'm always telling you guys this, and then whenever God puts me through a struggle, I'm always saying, except for me, Lord. I just want a simple life. I'm always hearing these Christian people on YouTube or whatever that are talking about prosperity, not necessarily prosperity doctrine, but just a good life, and and of course we want things to be good, right? But it also seems like they're missing the understanding of this, right? The It's okay for people to struggle. Let your child struggle. Put your child through hard situations in a way, right? That's what God does. And so what I'm trying to say is we're not supposed to get in the way of that. We're not supposed to be there, the one that they need to. There's some family over here, and there's always somebody who's always bailing them out, and then doesn't understand why they won't grow up. So remember, we are to make our. For me, I can't speak for you, and I think for you too. Part of the purpose of being a believer is to do His will, and to do His will is to make disciples of Jesus, and not to have people be relying upon you, and not even that. Like, even if they don't want to be relying upon you, you just don't go in and every time they start to fall, you catch them, right. When it sometimes, when a child's learning how to walk, they have to fall down a few times before they can learn how to walk. That's all I got to say about that. Don't be a disciple of David Pinson. Be a disciple of Jesus Christ. Watch out. Even I'll close with this. Even watch out for disciple making ministries that are really just making disciples of their church and their programs and this and that. That's why I have books that are available to open our hearts up to the Lord and to be live in the simplicity of Jesus. But I don't want to have programs, 40 days of this, 30 days, this and that and the other programs to sell to churches to get them to follow programs. Because I don't believe in programs. I believe in people. That sounds good. Write that down. But anyway, so we just don't want to get in the way of that. Let teach people, including teach me, Lord, how to be a disciple of you, so I can show others to do what I'm doing. Huh? Follow me as I follow Jesus, as Paul once said. Follow me as I follow Christ. God bless you guys. Ta ta for now.